Welcome to The Discerning Mother, the podcast for Jesus-loving moms who want to tune out the noise and tune into God's design for motherhood. I'm Brigid, a board-certified women's health coach, holistic health practitioner, birth nerd, and homeschooling mom of 5. I help moms to heal their minds and bodies, trust their instincts, and embrace the beauty of the way God created them. Here we talk about birth, hormones, motherhood, faith, and anything else. Let's go. All right, welcome back to The Discerning Mother. This is going to be a short and sweet episode today. I am Brigid, your host, and I really want to speak on the part of you that has walked through birth and maybe walked away with more questions than answers. So, birth is one of the most powerful and sacred experiences that a woman can go through, and we know this instinctively. We know that it changes us. We know that it marks us. We know that it opens us up in our mind, our body, and our soul. Even if you've never given birth, you just know that. You're never the same person after you have a child than you were before. And so in that moment of opening, whether you think of it as a literal sense or just figuratively, something passes through. And again, obviously, if you're thinking of it from a literal sense, of course, a baby is born. But something else crosses through too, and that is a doorway that opens in every single birth. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a physical birth, like if you are a foster mother or if you are if you really consider yourself to be a spiritual mother, those are all what I'm speaking about as well. And so what comes through that doorway depends on what, or rather who, we allow in, and this is super important. So sometimes birth becomes a place where pain settles in, where we allow fear to take over, where trauma takes root. And when that happens, when we're in a state of rawness and vulnerability, as we are in physical birth, the enemy really sees that as his opportunity. And again, I want to repeat that. The enemy sees that as his opportunity. So he begins to whisper lies into the open spaces of our hearts. Because again, birth is whenever we are most receptive. Motherhood is when we are most receptive. So he starts to whisper things like, you didn't do it right. Your body's not strong. You're failing. You'll never be the same, and not in a good way. You're not meant for this. You're not good enough for this. And so sometimes we don't even really realize how those lies took root until weeks or months or even years later. But they do show up in ways we talk to ourselves and how we feel in our bodies and how we approach future births and how we relate to our husbands or even our babies or children. And so I want to ask you, what came through the doorway of your birth? Take a minute and really consider that. Did fear come through? Did grief? Did a sense of powerless or confusion or failure? And it's okay if it did. Really, there's no shame in there. Only space to look with clarity and compassion. And even if you're wrestling with some maybe negative thoughts or emotions, there really is great news because again, God redeems everything. Birth can be a doorway to grace as well. And again, God's not afraid of birth, right? Obviously, he created it. He's not absent from it. He made it. He formed your body, your baby, the timing. He knows what's happening. He knows and he knows that he can redeem every single moment, every contraction, every cry, every disappointment, every prayer, every scream, whatever it is. And whether you felt close to him or far away from him during your birth, he was never far from you. And so I want to invite you to reimagine birth, not just as a moment of physical transition, but as this sacred time. And so it's a very thin place, or as some Christians say, a place where heaven meets earth. And what comes through that doorway doesn't have to be darkness. It can be light, it can be peace, it can be healing, it can be restoration. But we really do have to choose it. We have to invite in that peace, healing, and restoration. And so I'm speaking again in the physical birth sense here, but imagine that you're in labor. The contractions are strong, your body is opening. Spiritually, something is opening too. And now just picture Jesus, not far off, but distance, right there at your side, maybe holding your hand, maybe crying with you, maybe just he's there with you. And maybe beside him is Mary, your mother, the one who has given birth, who understands what it means to be a woman, what it means to surrender everything, even your son, and the cost of it all. And just think, like, what would you have changed in your birth if you had been able to sense them? What would change now if you could go back and invite them in? And again, it's never too late. Your story is not over. Even if your child is 5 days old or 15 years old or 42 years old, I worked with somebody. Healing is possible. God can still walk through that doorway with you, and you do not have to do that alone. And this is the kind of healing that we walk through inside my Restored by Grace program. It's a 12-week program for women who want to really heal after their birth experience, to reconnect with their bodies, rediscover the beauty of birth as God designed it. So whenever you step back through that doorway with Jesus, instead of fear, instead of shame, instead of guilt, you are going to experience truth and grace and peace, and everything changes around your birth, but not even just your birth experience. It changes around your whole entire motherhood experience. It changes around what it means to be a woman. It changes you in every facet of your being. So if you've been carrying something heavy from your birth or even motherhood experience, if there's a part of you that's never quite recovered, if you feel like that crack in your soul has never fully closed, or if it keeps reopening, or if it's opening up in ways that look different every time. So for example, like snapping at your kids, feeling like something is off, always feeling like your body is never good enough, struggling with like eating, with like trying to eat so that you don't have to feel your feelings, or yelling at your husband, being scared to be intimate with your husband, whatever is coming up for you, like let this be your invitation that you don't have to ignore it. You don't have to tough it out. You are allowed to go back. You are allowed to feel. You are allowed to heal. And when you do, you don't just restore that story. You also restore your strength, your softness, your connection with your baby, your connection with your other children, your connection with your husband. It restores your confidence, your motherhood, your marriage, your walk with God. And so birth can crack you open for the enemy, or it can crack you open for receiving God. The door is already open though. So the question is, right now, who did you let in? And again, there's no shame in it. But who did you let in? And so if this episode spoke to you, I'd love for you to take the next steps. You can download my free resources below, or you can reach out to just book a call with me. Like, let's talk about what healing could look like for you, and whether it's Restored by Grace is the right step or not. I'll help you figure it out. You are not broken. You are beloved. Your story is not over. Thanks for being here today. And until next time, you are so loved. See ya.